Welcome back to another episode of the SOS Wellness Show. I'm your host, Tess, and let me tell you something. This is the first episode of the year 2023 existing right now in our face, in our love, in our blood, in our hearts. Everywhere that we turn is full of love. And listen, from my heart to yours, I hope this message, I hope my voice reaches you at a place where you can find grounding, where you can find peace, where you can find shelter, where you can find love, where you can find acceptance. Because I understand that it is a very hard world. It can be a very tough world out there. But that's why the SOS Wellness Show exists. Is for you to come, let go, sit down, relax, be yourself, and listen. Okay? Because you are in for a treat for this episode. When I tell you I'm so excited to be here. See, that's why you gotta be. I can't even. Sometimes when you so excited, you feel like you gotta dance. You gotta move it off. Y'all didn't even know I had them dance moves, did you? Though you didn't know I had the. Oh, oh, oh no, I'm gonna lay off. Like, I don't know if y'all ready for that. I really don't know. But check this out. I'm so excited to see you. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that you're listening right now, that we're in this moment. Because guess what? It's an important day that's coming up. January 16th, Martin Luther King's Day. Whoo-wee. What an exciting time, right? I realize I've been I just smile because it's Martin Luther King Day is a very important day for me. And not because I have a choice, like my spirit, my soul, I feel his words. I feel his mission and I feel his love. So I have no choice but to be excited, no choice but to be thankful, and no choice but to share this love and this joy with you because the title of this episode, listen, is Mental Restart. That's something that I feel like Martin Luther King was trying to get across to a lot of us, that we had to wake up. We had to, we were walking around like zombies. We needed to have some type of new frame of thinking in order to have a new frame of living. We got to realize that everything that we need is not on the outside, but that we ourselves have to become it, live it, and exist in it in order for it to be true, in order for it to be real. So happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. If you didn't know, now you know. And that's important because being of service, being of character. And that leads me to one of my favorite quotes by Martin Luther King. It says, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of challenge and controversy." Mm, that's the ultimate measure of a person, where you stand in moments of challenges and controversy. And that's why we're here right now, to talk about what kind of restart do you have towards your perception on challenges? What kind of reboot do you need to have in order to look at controversy as more so of an opportunity or just another hurdle you got to get through rather than a boulder or a giant that you can't get past? And it's amazing because I'm having the opportunity to speak to a few college students, high school students on Martin Luther King Day, my friends. And when I tell you I'm honored to even be in a space, to even be in alignment on a day that represents such a giant, such a warrior, such a conqueror, not only because he was a giant, a warrior, conqueror, because if he can show and exude that, that means we are warriors, we are conquerors, and we are giants. And it's important for us to realize that a lot of times, just like devices, right? If you have an iPhone, you have a Chrome, whatever you got, Android, I know Team Android, I don't know, I ain't throwing no shade on nobody. But if you have any type of device, regardless of the software, after a certain point, whether if it's weeks after you get in the phone or whether if it's a few months, you're going to get a notification that says it's time for a software update. And when it's time for a software update, that just lets you know that whatever programming that's running right now, it's going to be outdated soon. So I want that to sit in your spirit. How can that sizzle just a little bit in your hearts and in your minds? That just like devices, we can potentially have software and programming that's running that's outdated. And usually one thing that I love about software updates is that it analyzes to uninstall any bug fixes. Hmm. How many bug fixes do you maybe you have that you're not aware of? It can be the bug fix of anxiety. It can be the bug fix of depression, self-doubt, low self-esteem, not believing in yourself. What kind of bugs are lurking around and swimming around in your essence, your swimming pool, the internal pool that you have within? What kind of bugs or viruses are just lurking in there that are holding you back from rebooting into the greatest version of yourself? What what kind of software do you need to analyze? What kind of software do you need to download in order to become the greatest version of yourself? So that's one thing I love about the software update is even right after after you download the software, you make sure it uninstalls the bug fixes, it has the new software on there. The first thing you have to do is reboot, my friends. The first thing you have to do is reboot that computer, reboot that thing. So that means we have to reboot ourselves at a certain point. We have to make sure we do a mental refresh, a mental realignment to make sure that our bodies are aligned with our souls. Our soul, my friend. And I'll be honest with you, for a long time, I was operating on a programming. And is it okay if I'm transparent with you? Because for a long time, I was operating on a programming where I thought everything was okay. Everything was hunky dory. I didn't have to check on my strong friends because they were strong. Why would I have to check on people that's strong? I had this notion in my head that if people presented themselves to make seem like they had everything taken care of, then they had everything taken care of, and there was no need to second guess that or didn't think that I had to take care of them. So when I was in college, my freshman year, I remember one of my best friends, near and dear to my heart. She went to school maybe an hour away. So on the weekend, she would drive on up and we would party like we couldn't party no more. Except for this one weekend that really stood out and opened my eyes and made me realize that I needed to do a mental restart, a mental refresh in order for me to see life exactly how it is and not as I would have it. One Friday, she drives up and it's time for us to head to the city. That's where my school is. We stopped at my house first, but it was time for us to head to the city. And for whatever reason, she didn't tell her parents that she was here this weekend. And I always found that very odd because I'm like, why you didn't tell your parents? But see, that's the thing about strong people. They feel like some of us feel like, oh, we don't got it. We don't need no help. We don't need to do anything to. I got it all right. I don't need nothing. I'm out here by myself. We out here moving. So I thought that was odd, but I said, whatever, strong friend, you always strong. Because anybody ever have that kind of friend, right? Where if you're in school or if there's a party, the party doesn't start until that person shows up. Or even if it's already a group of people standing around, but until everybody can still be asking for that person, like, is that person showing up? This was my friend, right? She was that person where everybody wanted to be around. So this Friday night, we're leaving my house, headed to the city, and she tells me, she's like, hey, oh my goodness, I forgot to get my bag. It really has some stuff I need in it, but whatever. Well, let's go party. Let's go party. I said, come on, friend, we can go back. It's all good. She said, no, no, no. She insisted that we kept going on our journey towards the party. That night, we partied hard, drinking, smoking, anything that you can imagine, right? To the point where I had this type of programming, right? This programming that kicked in, like I don't have to check on anybody. My strong friend's good. We're okay. But this night, my friend was so strong. She was actually weaker than I had ever seen her before. But I still allowed my programming of seeing her in the strong light to overshadow the reality of the situation. So as we left the party that night, I noticed that she was breathing heavy, but I just assumed that she was just inebriated or, she was litty. She was just feeling it, right? We go home that night, we sleep, we wake up in the morning, and she's breathing heavy. I'll go walk over to where where she was sleeping and she was breathing heavy. It almost felt like she was wheezing. It was hard for her to breathe. And still, for some crazy reason in my mind, I still had this notion in my head that she was okay. My strong friend was okay. See, friends, I still had this programming that no matter what happened in my life, I was outdated. So some things can be going on in your life that are working out and they're full of essence and are full of answers and are full of love. But because we see ourselves or we see the world through this old program, we won't be able to ingest and receive what's in front of us. And that was me that night. Or the morning after, I was able to look at her and just still see her struggling clearly. But something was still telling me, that's my strong friend. She's okay, right? That's my strong friend. It's all good. It got so bad to the point where my roommate at the time had to tell me, we need to take her to the hospital. And then finally, something clicks for me. And I realize something is wrong with my friend. I get my friend up. And this is when I really realized, because she couldn't even get up. She couldn't even walk. By the time we got to the elevators, walked down the hall, and the elevator doors opened up to the first floor, as soon as we took about 2 steps, my friend dropped to the floor. Instantly, we had to call the ambulance. That day, my parents, once we arrived at the hospital, and I'm choking up my words because I'm feeling like I'm back in that moment. So bear with me, please. As soon as we got to the hospital, I realized they told me that your friend is on borderline having a diabetic coma. That right there changed everything. And thankfully, after that moment, she survived and everything was okay. Until a few months later, something similar happened. All I can say is I no longer have my friend alive right now. And I know a part of me is just wish that if I was able to see life differently. And of course, I know I can't save her, I can't save everybody, but I want all of us to realize that we have the potential, we have the power, and we have the strength to save ourselves. Because if you perform a mental restart, it'll allow you to identify the old programming that's walking around. Identify any bug fixes that you need to download, because sometimes we got some stinking thinking. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got some thinking that's not serving us. We have some thinking that pulls us down. We have some thinking that makes us feel like we'll never get up out of our situation. We have some thinking that will tell you that you will never be enough. But the more that you take time to restart, the more that you take time to analyze, the more that you take time to reboot and pause, all of this will come into perception for you. And you'll be able to isolate, dominate, and iterate on being the person you want to be. Just that simple. And one thing that I always think about is, what is that missing equation? What is that missing element in the equation that if we got it right, things could turn around for us? If we got it right, we could redefine success and transform our life. If we got it right, we could reclaim our power and walk towards our destiny. And one thing that came to me was the word soul. Your soul, my friends, your soul. That's something that I think we all unfortunately forget about. What is that thing that you can feed? What is that thing that you can observe? What is that thing that you can be in every moment of your life? That is true to your essence, that is true to your purpose, that is true to your calling, that's true to your existence. And that's your soul. Because some of us, we get so caught up in the way we look on the outside, or this and that, but we don't realize that there's a soul. We get so caught up in, of course, our amazing body, its essence, but there's a soul inside of us. There's a soul swimming and living through you. So what can we do to make sure that we tap into the soul? What can we do to allow our souls to shine? So I made up this acronym for soul. And the first S is stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your ability to achieve. Stop doubting your ability to create your version of success. The more you downplay yourself, the more disconnected you become from your greatness. You literally have survived. I know we usually say 100. I'm about to up it to 1,000. You have survived 1,000% of all the days you thought you weren't going to survive. I was literally just talking to somebody today about, oh my goodness, one of my heartbreaks that I experienced when I was about 20 years old. I felt like an elephant was on my chest, but look at me now. Here I stand, here I am. Still I rise. Still you rise. So stop doubting yourself. The more that you can connect with that soul, the more that you connect with who you are, the more you'll walk, the more you'll talk with more confidence, clarity, and connection with your true self. The O is order abundance over your life. No more operating in a spirit of lack. No more feeling like the cards that you were dealt just wasn't as good as everybody else. No more thinking that if you were born somebody else, things would be different. No, 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 no. That stops today. That stops right now. Order abundance over your life. No more operating in lack. The more that you order abundance, you're going to look up and you will be abundance. You will feel abundance. You will live abundance. There's a saying that goes, abundance is your birthright. So stop acting, stop playing small, stop acting like, oh no, everybody else can have it. No, it's yours too. There's enough for all of us to exist and love each other as we operate and move forward. The you in soul is unleash fear. Unleash that. Let fear, sometimes fear can feel like it's an anaconda wrapped around us. We don't even know what to do. We're looking to the left, we're looking to the right. We're just stuck. We're not moving forward at all. We can't even move our arms at all. But no, 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 no. I need you to unleash fear. I need you to unleash that anaconda that got you wrapped up and moving like it feeling like you can't do anything. Because guess what? Fear stands for finally exiting average reality. Fear can stand for facing everything and rising, or it can stand for facing everything and run. And something tells me about you that no, 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 no. You were not created to suffer. You were not created to feel like you were not worthy. You were created to rise, and you were created to conquer. So unleash that fear so therefore you can finally exit average reality. You were not born to be average. You are important. You are protected. And the more that you know that, the more that you know that, the more you're going to be able to listen. Define success for yourself. Live on your own terms and walk into the purpose that you've been looking for. I've been looking for my purpose for such a long time, and there's nothing like when you operate and live in your purpose. The L in soul is love yourself unconditionally, my friends. I need you to love yourself. Love yourself. It's not when you get that degree. It's not when you get all these material things. You have to love yourself unconditionally. I promise you. That's going to be the thing. You're going to always hear me saying love yourself unconditionally. Because sometimes we only love ourselves when certain people are in our lives. Sometimes we only love ourselves when we reach certain accolades. And although those moments, those people, those accolades are beautiful and they're full of love, the love you should have for yourself should never be determined by the external rewards of the world. Because if you will live for their approval, you'll die. You'll die through their rejection. So I don't need you to die over people's rejection and based off the likes, based off the shares. I don't need you to be worried about any of that. I need you to share and open your heart. I need you to stop doubting yourself. I need you to unleash fear. And I need you to love yourself unconditionally. Because guess what? You can succeed over the suicide of your mental health goals in life. Once you redefine success and transform your life, my friends. My name is TES. I love being here. I just feel so, It feels amazing when I can just share what's on my heart with you all. Because I think it's important that we all perform a mental restart. What do you need to restart in your life in order to reclaim your power? What do you need to restart in your life in order to reclaim your strength? What do you need to restart in your life in order to regain your confidence? Everything is within you. You have everything you need. Allow change to build you and not break you. Till next time, my friends.